This video is going to cover how you can use Guitar Pro to get the most out of it when it comes to pushing your speed and accuracy. The stuff shown here can be used on anything with Guitar Pro, really. I'm going to be using some stuff in the speed picking program to demonstrate how you can use Guitar Pro to get faster and faster and faster. Now, you can absolutely use just a metronome. I do it all the time. Whether you decide to use a metronome or use Guitar Pro, it's totally fine. Sometimes it's better to just use a metronome. Sometimes it's better to use Guitar Pro. Sometimes it's a really good idea to go between the two. Either way, I'm basically going to show how you can apply that metronome method ebook to Guitar Pro. If you don't have the ebook, you should, because if you're watching this on Patreon or if you actually bought a course outright, you should have that book. If you don't, please let me know. I want to make sure you have it. So with something like this 16th note speed picking program all on the high E string, I have several examples, and let's say you want to work on just step one. What I recommend doing is highlighting everything for step one, and then you can choose the tempo you wish to start at. Now, of course, if you read that metronome method ebook, you know 60 beats per minute is what I recommend starting with, and right up here, that's where you can change the tempo. And every time you're ready to change the tempo, just click on that, enter your new number, hit enter, and there you go. Now let's say you're working on step 3. Again, just highlight all that. Go to change the tempo, same place. And now it's going to change where you begin to highlight. Now with the speed picking program, there are drums programmed into Guitar Pro, so you can play along with those, or you can turn them off and just use the metronome. In order to turn the drums off, you need to click on this button up here. Come down here to where that drum kit is and hit that button. So right now it's only showing the guitar. If you wanted to see what the drums look like, you can click right here and you see all of it. Click that again, right back to the guitar. Now, if you actually click on the drum kit line down here, you're just going to see the drums. So make sure that you click on the guitar track to see the guitar. To make sure the metronome is clicking away, you want to come up here and click right there. Activate or deactivate the metronome. So when that's blue, it's on. This is the count in. Wherever you have the cursor set, you're going to hear 4 clicks and then it'll start. Now that can change depending on the time signature. If it was a 3/4 time signature, you'd hear it 3 clicks. You can also change the amount of times the count in happens by increasing the bars right there. Because I have drums programmed for all these examples, for this course anyway, I have 2 blank bars where the drums do the count in for you instead of a metronome. Another thing you can do besides just entering the tempo manually over and over and over again is you can use a progressive speed option, which is this thing right here. So in order to get to that, we come up here to where this percentage thing is, click on those arrows, come down here to custom value. Click on progressive speed, and then you lower the from to whatever percentage you want to start at. And then you can change how much it increases in speed by changing the percentage right here where the step is. Of course, I'm going to recommend starting at just 1% increase because I'm very, very big on slowly ramping it up to make sure you stay as accurate as possible. And then for the repeat right here, we only want to play it correctly once and then move on up, so just leave that at 1 time. So if you set it like this, it's going to slowly ramp up in speed every time this highlighted portion is played through. For the most part, I do recommend manually inputting the tempo yourself or just using a metronome, because eventually you'll reach a speed you can't continue playing correctly, or mistakes will start being made, and you definitely need to take breaks when you're pushing yourself to your maximum potential. So let's do a quick demonstration on how you can use Guitar Pro by manually changing the tempo every time you play through something correctly. And when you have this highlighted, just hit the space bar and it'll start playing right where the highlight begins. And because I'm going to be playing along with the drums, I'm going to turn off the metronome and the count in. And then hit spacebar to stop. Go up here, enter the new tempo, spacebar. Now eventually it'll be going fast enough you don't have to hit the spacebar to stop it. And basically just keep doing this over and over again until you can't get any faster. And again, if you'd like to just use the metronome, come down here, mute that drum, turn on the metronome, and you don't need to turn on the count in for something like this because of the 2 blank bars. You're going to have 2 bars clicking away, and then you start playing. For example, and for those of you who have lower tuned guitars, you can still play along with the MIDI guitar without changing anything on your guitar. Come up here, this little tuning fork, and drop it down as many steps as you need to reach your guitar's tuning. So that's a really fast, easy way to change the tuning of the guitar here so you can play along in whatever tuning you have. So on the screen right now is a little lick or a riff that I was working on not too long ago, and this is something I would go between just a metronome and then with some drums and the MIDI guitar, and to kind of go back and forth when things get going really fast to help me like hear things better and kind of play along with Guitar Pro, go back to just the metronome, just kind of using everything at my disposal to try and get the most accurate take possible. I'm going to basically demonstrate how I would practice doing this. I know that thing says 241 right now, at least on Guitar Pro here. I'm not expecting to hit that in this demonstration, but you know, let's just see where I get with it, and this way you can see, you know, how you could practice things going between a metronome, using Guitar Pro and whatnot. And I'm also going to show how to change the sound of your guitar, like not your actual guitar, but the MIDI guitar, because sometimes I find that like the distorted guitar in Guitar Pro, it can be kind of hard to hear, like the articulation might be lost a little bit when you're going fast. So sometimes I'll switch it to just an acoustic guitar or a different kind of sound, so this way the MIDI instrument stands out from the actual instrument. So I'll be showing that in a bit, but let's get going here. So this is how I would practice doing this. And this is also demonstrating how I would use that metronome method, starting at 60, and here we go. Let's do that again. tough, getting difficult. It's definitely really challenging at this point, trying to be as accurate as I can here. So this could be a good time to switch over to Guitar Pro. And another thing that's nice about it is you can listen to how it's supposed to sound. So I've highlighted all that. And I'm also going to turn on this loop here. And I'm going to change the tempo, so to the 185. And then can listen to it. And then when I feel ready, I jump in. And I also have this blank bar here because then I can hear how the drums are going to play. So it's easier for me to kind of know when to come in. I don't think I'm saying that too well. But basically, this blank bar is to have a full bar of just drums. And I feel that can be helpful to hear what the rhythm is better, kind of lock into what's going on. But yeah, let's try it this way now. See, that felt good. Then hit spacebar to stop. Come up here, 190, do it again. Again, 200. So this would be 20 notes per second. If I can actually do it right. That felt really good. So I mentioned changing the sound. Let's try that here. So to change the sound of it, what I like to do, let's come up here to that panel. Come over here to track. And down here, this is where the sound is for the guitar. So I'm just going to go down here to acoustic guitar, and I'm just going to pick the strumming one because that sounds pretty decent to me. So now it's going to sound a bit different. Let's try 205. And then sometimes what I like to do is I'll go back to just the metronome, say, okay, well, can I do it with just the metronome then? Can I duplicate that, make it feel and sound just as good? So I like doing that because playing with Guitar Pro can be very helpful because we hear exactly how the notes are supposed to be spaced, how it's supposed to sound. Now, one thing to keep in mind, MIDI instrument is always going to be way cleaner and more precise than any human can ever be. So when you try and match things to that, just understand you'll never make it sound as 100% exact as the MIDI guitar. Another thing that's an issue with playing with Guitar Pro, why I do believe it's a very good thing to do just regular metronome practice along with Guitar Pro, because with Guitar Pro, when you're playing along with it, it might sound really good. But sometimes what your ear picks up on is the notes of Guitar Pro filling in your mistakes. So it's like, yeah, it sounded really good. It felt really good when you're playing it. But then when you take away the MIDI guitar and you're just listening to the metronome when you're playing along with that, it's like, oh man, which is basically kind of like what happened there. Like it was just me and the metronome. It's like, okay, there's definitely some issues happening right now. Let's get that cleaned up. So let's try this once again with just Guitar Pro's metronome. I'm going to mute the drums and turn on just the metronome. I'm not going to turn on the count in because I'm just going to keep looping it. Let's try it at 210. That'll be 21 notes per second if I can actually play this right. So even though this is going full speed, I'm going to do like a half-time thing. So that sounded really good to me right there. So now I'm going to come over here to just the metronome, see we'll kind of make it sound just as good with the metronome. Almost. Yeah, I like that one pretty much. No, I didn't like that. Almost. Damn it. There we go. I like that one. That's pretty good. Now, of course, with those kinds of speeds, when you slow it down by like 50%, yeah, there's a good chance it's not going to be that accurate anymore. That's an unfortunate truth when trying to play this ridiculously fast. Sometimes it'll sound good, full speed, and then not so good when you slow it way down. So that's, yeah. It can be a very humbling experience when you listen back to your stuff slowed way down. But yeah, that's what I like to do with Guitar Pro to help practice the really, really fast stuff. So a mix of regular metronome, a little bit of Guitar Pro with and without drums, maybe change the sound of the guitar. And you can use other instruments, you know, you can have the sound of a piano. Sometimes people like using that. So hopefully seeing this demonstration can help you put together your own practice routine. And if you have any questions about what I just demonstrated here, please let me know. So those are some basic ways you can use Guitar Pro to help you practice. And again, you can really use it for anything that you're working on. And if you have any questions with this video, please let me know.